Welcome back. We have covered the January 6th hearings on this show every step of the way. But of course, here at Fox 5, we have been intimately involved with covering everything that happened from that fateful day back on January 6, 2021. And my guest tonight is certainly somebody you've seen him front and center. And he's talking about his new book tonight. It's called Hold the Line, The Insurrection and One Cop's Battle for America's Soul. Former MPD police officer Michael Fanone up late with me tonight on the Final Five. Sir, thank you for taking some time joining us.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me.
As we've looked at the investigations, and it seemed like after January 6th, everybody on Capitol Hill, Republican, Democrat, they were fired up. They wanted to get to the bottom of this, and people were saying this was Donald Trump's fault. This was the failing of this was the failing of that. And then as time went on, it seemed as though there was less interest in that. And we have this committee. You've been there in many of the hearings out there. For the people who believe that this has been a waste of time, who believe that this has been a sham trial, as some in cable news have called it, for people like you who were there and who suffered through a lot, what's your message to them?
Well, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, almost 2 years out from the day, if you're not able to accept the realities of what happened on January 6th, I'm not trying to convince those people otherwise. I just want accountability. My experience is well documented. The experience of so many other police officers that responded on January 6th is well documented. It was brutal. The fighting was intense. And there were over 100 police officers that were seriously injured as a result of just doing their job. But now, 2 years later, all I want is accountability for those who are criminally culpable in what happened that day. And I wouldn't mind, some accountability for those who may have been morally and ethically responsible for what happened that day. But that's got to come from the voters.
In your book, it's not about politics. A lot of people talk about January 6th and they look at it in the realm of politics. That is not what your book is about. But you talk about really your journey as a police officer. You talk about voting for President Trump in 2016, but there was also someone you met along the way that really shaped your worldview and shaped the way that you approached your job.
Yeah, Leslie. I mean, when I came to policing in Washington, D.C., I was a white kid that grew up in the suburbs. I spent my leisure time hunting and fishing. So I just, had never been exposed to a lot of different things that I would come to know on a daily basis in inner city policing. I didn't have any idea what the Black experience was like in America. I didn't know what it was like to live at or below the poverty line. I had never had a transgendered friend, let alone knew a transgendered person. And in Leslie, I was exposed to all of those things. And in a lot of ways, it humanized the interactions, not only what I had with Leslie, but with a lot of the people that I was charged with keeping safe as a police officer, but had never had an opportunity to walk in their shoes.
In just a couple of weeks ago, one of the four people who were charged directly with your attack was sentenced to a little more than 80 months in prison, and still there was a legal process going through. In your estimation, was that enough? Would that get the message across?
As far as I know, that was the maximum allowed under the guidelines, and I accept that.
As we go ahead, and we're still waiting for a report to come down from the committee, and again, we've seen you at those hearings and speaking with Congressman Kinzinger. There's a man who has been a longtime Republican, a very conservative Republican. He was vocal in his belief that there should be some sort of investigation. It seems to parallel your thought that there should be some accountability. Yet he is more or less ostracized from his party. He will not be in the Congress after January, and it seems like there has been more of an attempt from many in power right now to minimize the voices of Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, as opposed to going after the people that you believe could be morally or ethically responsible for this.
Yeah, I mean, that just speaks to the current climate within the Republican Party. I mean, I think very much that the Republican Party is being held hostage by Donald Trump and this extremist supporters that he enjoys. That being said, I mean, we all saw what happened on January 6th, and we saw that most politicians, including Republican politicians like Kevin McCarthy, who recognized it for what it was. Kevin McCarthy came down on the House floor, gave an impassioned speech, and he laid the blame, at least at that point, morally and ethically, he laid responsibility at the feet of the former president. And that being said, I think he quickly realized that that was not going to be politically advantageous for him. He has his, heart set on being the Speaker of the House, and that wasn't going to get him there. And so he's reversed course, like many other Republicans, and is trying to distract from the reality that his party, as led by Donald Trump, was responsible for an insurrection at the Capitol.
Last question I have for you. You left the police force. You didn't retire, correct? You resigned your post from MPD at the end of last year. So what do you do next? At what point do you decide what Michael Fanone's next chapter is?
I don't know. I mean, listen, it was important to me to return to full duty. I didn't want anybody to be able to say that I couldn't cut it, and I returned to full duty and I resigned. I left behind a pension and a 20-year career that I loved. But right now, what's most important to me is seeking accountability for what happened on January 6th, and also seeking acknowledgement for the officers that fought so selflessly and courageously at the Capitol that day.
The book is called Hold the Line, The Insurrection, a One Cop's Battle for America's Soul. Michael Fanone, thank you for taking some time and joining us here at Fox 5.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
And the Final Five is back right after this.